Welcome, everybody. I am going to give everybody about 30 seconds to log on. But welcome to our virtual session. And if you don't mind, please keep your mic muted during the session. I believe there's going to be a chat available to ask questions as we go along. But at the end, you'll be able to ask more detailed questions out loud. We still got a few people joining. Okay. Well, again, thank you for joining us today. We're so excited that you can be here to our NSE alumni panel. And what we're going to do today is I'm going to give brief introductions and general information about NSE. And then we're going to hear from our alumni panel. We have 6th grade alumni, and they're going to discuss their host and home institutions. And then afterwards, we'll have some breakout sessions where you can specifically reach out to each of the alumni panel and ask questions about their experience, about their institutions. So here we go. So a little bit about NSE. Our mission is that the National Student Exchange inspires academic enrichment, personal exploration, student development by facilitating accessible collegiate study away among member colleges and universities throughout the United States, Canada, Guam, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. We value diversity, open-mindedness, and cross-cultural engagement, fostering learning, understanding, respect, and a sense of community among all people. We believe that adding a collegiate study away experience enhances the education and enriches student growth. So a little bit about our campus, our member campuses. There's 175 plus campuses available to choose from amongst the U.S., Canada, Puerto Rico, Guam, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Any major is welcome to attend an NSE exchange, and most schools will have programs available in your chosen study. Keep in mind that host campuses may have some restrictions, limitations, or closed programs to NSE, but we will help you find one that is available. There are 2 types of payment plans. There's a home pay, where you will pay your home institution and fees. And there's also host pay, where you will pay the in-state tuition for that host institution. Financial aid is available if you qualify. And we have now guest students. And so if you are part of a school that does not participate as a member campus, you will now be able to also go on an NSE exchange starting the fall 2025 and spring. And those applications will be available after March 10th, 2025. You will have to contact our headquarters for more information. And so why do we exchange? You grow academically, personally, and professionally through your time away. And so we will get started today with our first alumni panel member, and her name is Charlotte.
Hello, everybody. My name is Charlotte Okraska. My home institution is the University of Nebraska at Kearney. So I have a photo of a map down there in the bottom. Kearney is right in the middle of the state. The population of the town is about 33,000. Campus size is about 6,000 students. Main attractions, we're in the middle of the country, so we have like a historic highway right by Kearney, runs right through Kearney, that used to connect the country from east to west coast. We are 3 hours from Omaha, Nebraska, which is the biggest city in Nebraska, 2 hours from Lincoln, which is the capital. We're also about 4 to 5 hours away from Denver, and we have the largest sandhill crane migration. We're a very rural community. So if you haven't ever experienced that before, it might be an interesting kind of cultural experience for you if you're from a city. We also are known for doing a ton of undergraduate research with students. It's very student focused, very student centered. And then we also offer some unique programs that many other universities don't. For example, in good old rural Nebraska, Kearney, you can take Japanese classes and learn Japanese. So that's a little bit about Kearney. So my host school, I went to the State University of New York at Plattsburgh. So I have a map on this slide again, and Plattsburgh is that green star at the top. So way, way northern part of New York. The population of the town was a little bit smaller than Kearney, about 20,000 people. So that was nice. I could stay kind of a small town girl. The campus was a little bit smaller, about 4,000 for the student body population. And then the attractions in Plattsburgh, there was an international airport. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from Albany, New York, 4 hours away from Boston, Massachusetts, 5 hours away from New York City. The Saranac River ran right through the middle of town and right through the middle of campus, and I loved that. It was beautiful. And the town was also located right on the edge of Lake Champlain. So I could go on runs and walks around the lake, and it was really cool to just like go out, watch the sunset over like the sailboats and the mountains on the edge of the lake. And coming from like really flat Nebraska, I just really loved all of the natural beauty. And then the things about campus that I really enjoyed. So SUNY offered things that UNK did not. Their campus recreation program had a wider variety of options, and I got to take a kickboxing class. And that really kickstarted my love of group fitness. And when I came back to Kearney, because I'm actually currently a grad student now at UNK, I teach group fitness. So that was super fun. Kind of ties into that personal growth and exploration that Lisa talked about at the beginning. I also minored in biology and I'm currently studying counseling. So the like neuroanatomy and psychology really interests me, and I got to take a neurobiology course, which UNK does not offer. So that was really exciting. And that picture down in the bottom right is of some cells I was looking at during class one time, looking at brains and stuff. And then campus and the town and just the region I was in had a ton of natural beauty. Very different from the agriculturally like dominated town that Kearney is and where I live now. I really loved the river and all of the trees. It was the most beautiful autumn I've ever experienced. And I did only do my exchange for just one semester. And even though I was only there for 4 months, it was like a packed 4 months, and I enjoyed my experience so much.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Calvin Ritchie. I was an undergrad student in communication at Mississippi State University. I did graduate my undergrads in 2023, and now I am a master's student in Mississippi State, pursuing my master's in communications. I'm still at Mississippi State University. I exchanged in the 2021-2022 school year at William Patterson University in Wayne, New Jersey. Just a brief overview, it's about 25 minutes away from New York City, but it's in New Jersey. So a lot of cool experiences to go with that. So a little bit more about Mississippi State University. Mississippi State is a pretty ag and engineering heavy school. Before it was Mississippi State, it was Mississippi A&M for agriculture and mechanics. But it is located in Starkville, Mississippi, and it's kind of cool because you get like a kind of a balance there because Starkville is a much smaller town, but Mississippi State is a rather larger university. So while you get the small town feel of Starkville, there's also a lot of ways, since Mississippi State is so big and it's in one of those big conferences like the SEC. It's very easy to get involved with a bunch of things on campus, as you can see through some of these pictures here. I've been involved with our SEC network broadcasting team for the last 3 years, working with the SEC network, helping film live games or shoot live games. And then I also worked with creative video as well early on in my college career, where we would go and film and then make all the videos that you see posted on social media throughout our accounts. So there's definitely a lot of ways to get involved at Mississippi State, no matter what your major is. Like I said, like comms doesn't really fall under that ag and engineering like umbrella, but there was still a lot of opportunities for me to get involved in the field that I'm interested in going into. So that's a big plus about Mississippi State. And William Patterson University, the school I exchanged at, was actually almost the complete opposite of Mississippi State. Wayne, New Jersey, which houses William Patterson, is this more of a bigger area, but the school itself is actually quite small. So William Patterson is a liberal arts school. What was cool about this, about William Patterson specifically, is there were a lot more opportunities to get involved in ways that I couldn't at Mississippi State. So being with the SEC, or being an SEC school and working in working for the SEC network, there weren't a lot of opportunities for me to be on camera, which is what I hope to do after I graduate Mississippi State. But when I was at William Patterson, everything that we do through athletics or any other type of TV, radio, stuff like that is all student run and student organized. So a lot of that stuff that I wasn't able to have the opportunity to do at Mississippi State, I was able to do at William Patterson. And it just got me a little bit of a different look. So Mississippi State taught me a lot of the technical stuff that comes with communications. And then, William Patterson gave me the opportunity to have that sort of hands-on approach where I can not only see the things that I was doing like at Mississippi State, but I could actually do those things. A couple other cool things, I I don't know if they have it anymore because I know they were talking about cutting it while I was on campus at William Patterson, but they did have comedy as a major, so that was pretty cool. Like it says there, I got to perform stand-up for a comedy class that I took, and I actually got like college credit for. And our final exam was to perform stand-up comedy in New York City. So that was a really cool experience. But I was very fortunate for the experiences that I had at William Patterson.
Hi guys, so my name is Lauren Berger. I'm a junior at Indiana University, Indianapolis. I'm originally from Fishers, Indiana, and I'm a French and Spanish major with a sustainable management and policy minor. So my home campus, Indiana University, Indianapolis, IUI, we're located in downtown Indianapolis, Indiana. I would call us a mid-sized campus. We have 26,000 students, but 86% are commuters. So while we do still have community on campus, it's a more tight-knit environment. And then right off of campus, we have monuments and museums, the Indianapolis Zoo. We have grocery stores, shopping venues, concert venues, lots of theaters, whether it be movie theaters or for plays or for the orchestra in the city. And then we're also called Circle City for a reason. There's a monument circle in the center of the city with the Soldiers and Sailors Monument. It's a pretty cool landmark to check out. And then of course we have the Indianapolis Motor Speedway with the Indy 500. And then we also have Lucas Oil Stadium with the Colts, the Pacers at Gamebridge. And then we have minor league baseball, the Indianapolis Indians. And then we also have a soccer team in the city, which is the Indy 11, and they actually play on our campus. So it's a pretty cool place to be. And the highlights of the campus. So first and foremost, we have our unique and notable programs. We're home to the only school dedicated to the teaching and practice of philanthropy in the world, which is the Lilly School of Philanthropy, after Eli Lilly, who's headquartered here. And then we have the Kelly School of Business, which is a world-renowned program in the IU system. IU Bloomington, if you've heard of that before, is like the main campus in the IU family, but we're second up there. And some of our highlights are the pre-med program. So we have 4 hospitals located on campus, and we have a VA hospital, Children's Hospital, and then several others, and that provides a diverse range of experiences for our pre-med students. And then being located in downtown Indy, there is so many internship and research opportunities. I myself am going into an internship at the Indiana Prosecutor's Office for court translation, so I'm excited to get into that. And then there's lots of sporting events, concerts, and museums and more for leisure. But also, if you're in tourism and sports management, it's a good place to be, just with so much to get involved with. I know several students who've worked with our NBA team, the Pacers. And then on that note, the sports life, we are a sports city. And on campus, we have 18 sports teams. They're D1, it's a D1 program. And then we have free student admission to games on campus, and then walking distance to professional sports, as I said, and we have really cool free gyms on campus, which are great to take advantage of. And then the campus life. So we have dorms that overlook the White River, which runs through Indiana, and the city skyline, which is pretty unique. We have lots of restaurants on and off campus. And then we have a free campus bus as well, and a city bus that makes getting around pretty easy. And we also have lots of scooters, which I think are becoming more and more popular. But they're nice to get around. And then we also have our campus tradition. So that picture up there on the right with the canoes, that is regatta. So that's kind of our homecoming celebration in September. It's a canoe race with student organization groups. And then we also have Jagapalooza on the left there. That's a carnival at the end of the year. And then we have Jagathon, which is the Riley Dance Marathon, if you've heard of that. And then we have 400 plus student orgs. I'm the president of the French Club here on campus, so there's lots of ways to get involved. And with that being said, my host university was l'Université Sherbrooke in Sherbrooke, Quebec, Canada. It's located about 10 minutes from downtown Sherbrooke, on Mont Bellevue, which is a mountain, in Sherbrooke. And it's 3 hours from the nearest airport in Montreal. But that wasn't a huge deal because they have an Aeronavette service, which essentially takes you from the airport to the city. It's a mid-sized campus. They have 30,000 students, but again, the majority are commuters, so it's pretty similar to IUI. It's a 100% French-speaking city and campus. So there's not a lot of English there. There are immersion programs, but it's good to know a little French before going. And there's ice skating, skiing, and hiking 5 minutes from campus, as we are located on the mountain. So all of that is there. And then Montréal and Quebec Cité are only 3 hours away. And the campus highlights, so their unique and notable programs are French as a second language, engineering, and music. I knew lots of STEM students that I met through going there. That picture up there at the top, on the left are some students in Mont Bellevue, and the one on the right is Quebec City, where I went for a week on my exchange. So they're a very sustainable campus if that's something important to you. They have a platinum stars rating for university sustainability, stars being the metric that we use to measure university sustainability, that's the highest score that you can get. They're a research school with plentiful research grants and opportunities to research or have internships. You learn so much about the history of Quebec. It's a super interesting cultural experience, and you get to learn through not only in class, but through the people that you meet when you're out in the city and the different landmarks and things that you see, which makes it really interesting. And then there's the French immersion. So being in that 100% French speaking city, and classes completely taught in French, you learn a lot really quickly, and you meet really cool people from across the whole world, and especially from La Francophonie, which is basically the range of countries and territories that speak French in the world. I would recommend. It was amazing.
So my name is Rachel. My home school was Thomas Jefferson University, the East Falls campus. Previously was Philadelphia University. And there I majored in architecture as a 5-year program. So keep in mind this map I show you when I get to my host school. The longest distance of campus was relatively the same in scale. So from end to end, it was about a 15-minute walk, but the context of where they are, this being more suburban, New Mexico was a lot more urban. So I seeked kind of different scales and needs, even though the distances are relatively the same. So being in Philadelphia, you're about 2 hours away from New York City or DC, with only 10 to 20 minutes to get into like the heart of Philadelphia. Relatively the student population on campus, because it's our Center City campus is more graduate students. So most of the students on the East Falls campus, so about half of this number, so about 4,000 students. And we have a wide range of courses, majors that exist at our small school. It actually was I guess Philadelphia University was a textile school like in the 1800s. So we have a wide, unique smattering of degrees. And I just love the campus. It was super green every time I visited it. Just to even choose the school, I visited 4 or 5 times, and each time it'd be raining or really sunny. And I think me going to it 4 times to make sure it was the one says something about like just its variety. Move to the next slide. So I guess some notable things about our campus. So I was a student in the honors program. Something we promote is Nexus Learning. So that's kind of collaborative learning. So For example, I got to take 2 courses where landscape students were doing studio with architecture students. Even now, they've had like kind of counseling or psychology students collaborate with like interior designers. So it's nice to know that they're really interested in that cross-pollination of majors. There's about 90 campus organizations. And we have various yearly events. So every Thursday is Chicken Figure Thursday. We've had events like Sex Toy Bingo or a drag show, usually in the fall. Casino nights, Ram Jam, which is kind of like a carnival, a de-stressing event, and student engagement also organizes lots of opportunities to go see Broadway shows since we're so close to New York. And here's a bunch of images from some in the city, and some of which at the bottom were from various trips I went on as a student at Thomas Jefferson. So now that map, relatively the distance from end to end is the same scale. So contextually, they were very different campuses. I'd never really traveled abroad before, so this felt scalable for me to go from Philly to New Mexico. And what was interesting about it was their program for architecture and how it correlated. They were a 4+2 program. So I ended up taking a master's class. So everyone in studio was significantly older than me because they were master's students. But when I lived in a living learning community, which I didn't necessarily know was more for freshmen. So I ended up living with freshmen as a senior in college and then going to studio with people in their 30s. So it was nice to be a mentor and then be mentored. Whereas at my home school, everyone was the same age bracket as me. So UNM was very different. Acres are a lot larger. You could get to Santa Fe in about an hour. You were 20 to 15 minutes to the airport, and almost 4 to 5 times the size of students. A lot more colleges and degrees. They also had an honors program. And then one unique thing I got to participate in was the DPAC program or studio, which was a collaboration between landscape and architecture students doing community-based projects with like in the real world. So I enjoyed that a lot. So various photos from my time there. I remember I was overwhelmed by the density of campus, and the NSE coordinator, like on our walk around campus, was like, if you're ever lost, look to the mountains, and that's east. So it was really nice being able to see such further distance, being out in a desert area. As I could always see the Sandias in the bottom left corner, that green field with some buildings and then the mountains in the background. My dorms were there, so I could always orient myself finding the mountains and then just walking towards the mountains, and I'd eventually find my dorm. Some notable things of there's Balloon Fiesta in October, some pictures from my roommate and people on the dorm hall. And in the bottom corner, they took all of us NSE students to White Sands, which is this big, you sled down sand. It's very weird, but coming from an area with lots of snow, it was like kind of still nostalgic, even though it was hot. So I loved it. I'd go back every year and visit friends 5 years after graduating from college in 2019. So.
Hi, my name is Claudia Chabansky. I'm a senior at Oakland University, which is in Rochester, Michigan. I studied away my sophomore year at Sonoma State University in California, and I completed 2 semesters, so 1 academic year. So Oakland University is located in Rochester, Michigan. We have about 16,000 students. We have over 130 bachelor degree programs, which we're known for our medical, business, and engineering schools. We also do have an honors college. Campus life, there's more than 2,000 students living on campus with various living styles with dorms and apartments. And then we have over 200 student organizations, including clubs and Greek organizations. And then our class size is a little bit smaller, with about 30 to 40 students per class. So Rochester is named one of the nation's top 10 places for lifelong learning by the U.S. News and World Report, which is kind of makes it the ideal college town. So we have over 1,400 acres of land on campus, including wooded hills and meadows, including trails and kind of an outdoor wooded area we can do high ropes and that sorts of things. We have more than 50 major buildings. We have 6 co-ed residence halls, 2 student apartment complexes, and 4 Greek cottages. We are home to the OU Art Gallery, Meadowbrook Hall, Meadowbrook Theater, and Meadowbrook Amphitheater. Rochester, Michigan is also about 35 minutes away from Detroit, and we're about a 50-minute drive away from the Canadian border, which is Windsor. We also have in the area our Detroit Zoo. We have various theaters and our stadiums, which are known for hosting Detroit Tigers, Detroit Lions, and the Red Wings. So I studied abroad or studied away my sophomore year at Sonoma State University, which is basically located in Santa Rosa, California, with an enrollment just about 6,000. They offered unique courses such as wine business, the Holocaust studies, and genocide studies, and offered courses that allowed me to learn different things that I couldn't learn at OU. For example, with science courses, I was able to learn about the California geology. I was able to take this geology course and learn about the California coast and about earthquakes and things of that nature that don't happen in Michigan, which was really interesting, kind of allowed me to gain a perspective on that and also had lots of cool different field trips. So we went to the coast really often for that. So really enjoyed that class. And I was also able to take a Pilates class, kind of just as a side extracurricular course that also was really unique, something that OU kind of doesn't offer. With campus life, 33% of students live on campus and kind of an apartment style living, not necessarily dorm, just because all of their dorms are kind of an apartment style with a shared kitchen and living room area with usually 4 rooms, and depending on preference, you could either get solo or live up to with 3 other people in your room. So that was a really unique way to meet people, and I still do also go back to California and meet up with those friends that I met there. Student organizations, it's kind of ideal for student involvement just because there's so many different things going on, allowing for so many different clubs, including the wine business school. Kind of that was a cool, interesting way to kind of see business in a different perspective. So those are really cool to attend. And then class size is also a little bit smaller with 30, 40 students, just for a closer student faculty integration. So Sonoma State is about an hour north of San Francisco, so an hour from the Bay Area. Charles Schulz was born in Santa Rosa, and so the school is kind of themed across Snoopy and kind of Charlie Brown, if you do know that kind of thing. So there are cute, unique characters all over campus and in the city, which is really unique. And also having the Charles Schulz Museum with just a 15-minute drive away from campus was also really cool. The rugged Pacific coastline and being in the Redwoods was also really unique because you could go hiking and there's so many options to go towards the coast and kind of being on the beach and exploring up Northern California. Since I did a year away at Sonoma State, I was able to travel from the north to south. In the winter, I was able to go skiing in Lake Tahoe and kind of go hiking and also visit the redwoods in the fall. And then in the springtime, I was able to go um, to the south and visit San Diego and kind of see how Southern California varied. So that was really unique and interesting. And overall, I really recommend studying away.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Sage, and I went to the University of Alaska Southeast for my exchange. So I'm a psych major and philosophy minor. UAS is located in Juneau, Alaska, which is the capital of Alaska. The enrollment of the school was really, really small. So it was about 2,300 people, but the city itself was about 31. The location of the campus was actually so insane. So it was a 5-minute walk away from Auk Bay, which is like the ocean. And then it's also a 10-minute drive away from Mendenhall Glacier, which is one of the most popular glaciers in Alaska. You're actually able to see it from campus. It's not pictured in this photo, but you can see it from there. And then it's in the Tongass National Forest. So it's in a temperate rainforest. So it rains 230 days out of the year, which was really interesting coming from the Midwest. But I love it. Every single time it rains at my school now, I get so nostalgic. And it's a walking distance from a huge number of trails. There's actually a trail right on campus. Okay, so some of the campus highlights. So UAS is a huge marine biology school. Since it's located right on the ocean, they have a actual building that like does a lot of ocean biology there. And they also have an outdoor leadership program. And that basically it's a certificate program that you can take for a whole year. That basically gives you a certificate in working outdoors. So if like national service workers or like if you want to work in the national parks, like this is a really great certificate to get. They're also really good in environmental studies and Alaska Native studies. The whole campus culture kind of revolves around a shared love and appreciation for the outdoors and the Alaska Native tribe cultures, which was super, super cool. I got to learn a lot about them. So yeah, outdoor studies, they basically take you into the Alaskan wilderness and teach you about survival. I took a backpacking class through that program and it was absolutely incredible. Like literally some of my favorite memories of my entire life. So that was really awesome. They also have a pretty small sized campus, so it really makes you feel like you're immersed within the wilderness since there's not a lot of people around you, which is something that I really enjoyed. And then they also have Alaska Native Studies, so you get to learn a lot about Alaska and their native tribes, which is really, really cool. Some of the highlights, Juneau is just like one of the most beautiful places on earth. I recommend you go to Alaska at some point in your life. I was outside almost every single day, rain or shine, especially shine. But I was hiking, I was climbing mountains, I was going backpacking, I was going to the beach with my friends. It was a truly unforgettable experience in a place that feels otherworldly. You never run out of free things to do, which is really great because Alaska is a little expensive to live in, but the activities that you can do there are all free since they're all outside. And everything was so amazing. These are all pictures from my exchange. It's like the natural beauty is just unmatched. And then my home university is Iowa State University. There are so many majors at this school. I can't even count them all, but there are a ton. So there are so many classes that you can choose from. Class registration is probably my favorite time of the year since there are just so many things I can do. It's a beautiful and walkable campus, pedestrian friendly, so there aren't really any cars on campus, but there is a really great bus system that runs. And then it's also a D1 school, part of the Big 12 conference. So if you're into sports and like going to like huge events like that, we have a lot of those. And then it's also like super student oriented. So there are over 800 clubs and intramural sports. So if you liked playing sports in high school and you want to continue in college, this is just something really easy that you can do. And then we also have this thing called the Student Innovation Center that basically allow students to create whatever they want. There are different studios that you just have to take like a short canvas quiz to like work in. They have woodworking, glass blowing, textiles. So they have like different embroidery machines, sewing machines, stuff like that. They have metalworking. They like one of the engineering majors, I like there's probably 50 of them here, but one of the engineering majors actually makes race cars in the basement of that building, which is like actually so insane. Because they're just 20-year-olds like making race cars. And yeah, the campus is absolutely beautiful. It's so many trees and it's gorgeous in the fall, in the winter, the spring, just any time of the year, it's beautiful. And then some of the campus highlights for NSE students specifically is you get to register before all Iowa State students. So you get like top of the pack picking, which is really great. If you are trying to take like a competitive class, you get to be in it no matter what, since you're the first to choose. And then we also have really cheap off-campus housing. I think the cheapest rent that you can find per month here is about $375. And then the high end is $700. So you can get a really nice apartment for about $700. I'm in a very nice apartment. I'm only paying $650 right now. So that's really great if you're looking to save money. This is a really great place to do that. And the whole town is accessible by free buses if you're a student. So you can literally get all around town without having to have a car, which is really nice. Um, we also offer a ton of really unique classes that you probably don't have at your home university. We have a lot of martial arts classes. We have a ton of psychology classes, but that's just something I know since I'm a psych major. We also have tons of dance classes and stuff like that. Oh, we also have, if you're 21, we have wine and spirits and beer class. So you get to learn about how they make that kind of stuff, which is really cool. And we're also a class tier or world-class tier one research university. So it's open to all students. I know someone who's here on exchange right now and he's participating in undergraduate research. So if that's something you're interested in, it's actually really, really easy to be part of it. So that's something really great you can put on your resume if you're thinking about going to graduate school. And then there are really good on-campus dining options. So if you do choose to live on campus and you do have to purchase a meal plan, we have like a huge variety of on-campus dining, which is really fun. I live off campus and I still have a dining plan because it's just really convenient and it's honestly really good. So I would recommend that. And then there are also tons of free student-run activities. So since we are in the middle of Iowa, we're kind of a rural town. It's a college town. It's basically like all based around the school. But the university actually holds like weekly events on campus that are free for students, which is super fun. I go to a lot of those and I always have a really good time. And yeah, that's me and my mom during my freshman year, which is like on campus.
Great. Thank you again for coming to our NSE alumni panel, and thank you for all of our alumni for presenting on their campuses. We heard it from 12 great universities that are part of our NSE, so we're excited. Now we're going to go to breakout rooms. Feel free to join in on a breakout room that you may have questions for one of these individuals. Or myself, and I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, my name is Lisa Strickland, and I am from Mississippi State University, and I serve as the NSE coordinator here on our campus. So feel free to ask me questions or ask any of the alumni that are here today while available to you.